Hey everyone, it's Kyle from Kool Collectibles. If you're a Transformers fan, you probably know that 2014 is the 30th anniversary for Transformers as we know them, with the cartoon originally being released in 1984, and I was probably about 8 years old by then, and my grandfather first got our Transformers that Christmas of 1984, and you know, if you're a follower of Kool Collectibles, you know that I'm a big Transformers fan and have been since that long ago. So I wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of some of the main characters and toys that I've still got back from that age. I built this house about 4 years ago, and had moved out of home for about 10 years before that, and I got a call from my parents saying it was probably time for me to clear up my crap. And so I went over, and there were 2 boxes that I opened up, and they were just full of all the old vintage Transformers toys that my grandfather had bought myself and my brother, and I was just amazed that my parents hadn't thrown them away. So it was just like geek gold, really, and I brought them home, and I did originally have the plan to sell them all, but as I got them out and cleaned them, I just couldn't bring myself to let them go. And looking at them now, I'm definitely glad that I've kept them. They're stored away in a little cupboard at the moment because I haven't really figured out where I want to display some of the older figures that I've got. So I might think of that a little later. But just keep them stored away to at least keep them as mint as I can. Most of them are in pretty bad nick. So the first character I did wanted to go through is obviously you know, probably the most iconic of them all, in Optimus Prime. And if you can see here what I found interesting straight off the bat, so you can see that this particular design was already patented in 1980. So it's interesting that it's already, this one here has already got the Hasbro label on it, and it does have a rub on the cab, so the old heat sensitive rub there. So this is the post Hasbro licensing version, because these were, Takara made these through the late 70s, early 80s, so they had their own, I think the first transforming toys in the world, really. So they had their line of a whole bunch of vehicles, and they had their weapons and the aircraft and so on. And they tried to release them to no real success, but then I think it was in the 1983 or 1984 Tokyo Toy Show where Hasbro representatives went and saw these amazing designs from Takara, and rushed back to their bosses at Hasbro and said they could pretty much do some amazing things with this line. And so they pretty much rushed into, you know, identifying all the characters and their backstories and so on, their personalities, within only a couple of weeks, I think. So they created the names, you know, that we all know and love now: Optimus Prime, Megatron, Starscream, and so on, based on just these pretty basic toys, I guess. And looking at this, if you're talking about vintage toys, you can't get much more iconic than this guy. The chrome on mine's pretty bad, and has sort of turned this bluish colour. I thought as the chrome sort of comes off, most of my other Transformers have actually gone into like a whitish grey. So I'm not sure why this has gone blue, unless that's just the underlying plastic or something, but everywhere you can see is blue. And another interesting I found was, if you just look closely at these tyres, I only noticed this today. You can see they're labelled with Desert Dog Formula. I had no idea it had that writing on there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And while we're on the subject of this, they're rubber, and after 30 years they're still in pretty much perfect condition. So if you collect the recent MPs, none of them have rubber tires. I think most of them are, yeah, all of them are plastic. So I don't know why, unless it's a cost-cutting thing. But if they could, you know, use rubber of this quality back in the day, I don't know why Takara can't do it now, because these look fantastic. And I guess the toy in general, I mean, you know, back in the day they were only slated and for, you know, kids of 8 to 10 and so on. So the transformations were all pretty simple with that technology back in the day. So you can pretty much do it in a few seconds. But now, you know, transforming one of the MPs takes me, God, it can take me up to half an hour. So you get his palm, so there is a bit of parts forming. But yeah, technology of the 80s. So he comes with his iconic blaster. I've still got the 4 missiles that go in the trailer, the command center. So I'll show you guys that in a bit. I've lost the petrol nozzle end, but I've still got one end of it that goes into roller. And I've only got 5 wheels, so I've lost one of those wheels, unfortunately. So I just keep this one off. And this one isn't cartoon accurate. I think the original toy had him blue, which is why the Toys R Us Hasbro version of MP10 also has roller as blue, whereas the original cartoon was grey and Takara released it as a grey roller. But that's no big deal. So here, the standard trailer opens up into the command center. And I think the MP10 trailer pretty much replicates this pretty faithfully. So it pretty much sits like that. And I'm not sure if the original Takara toy had these, but you pretty much plug that in there and press this button at the back, which probably doesn't work after 30 years, and it won't work. So normally you press that and it will shoot out and roll down. So age is caught up with it. But the detailing and the stickers and so on were all, you know, just part of the playable value of this pretty awesome set. And this set wasn't actually my first Transformer, it was actually my brother's. My grandfather, every year for about 3 years, every Christmas, bought us a whole bunch of Transformers every year. And you know, it's a shame I've either lost or given away so many, or broken. So I still have quite a few, but I wish I had some of the other iconic characters like Bumblebee, and you know, so a lot of the mini bots I don't have anymore. I have some of the larger ones, and some ones that were, I guess, more dear to me that I've definitely kept. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked that quick look. I'll be going through each of the main characters that I've still got, and some of the groups as well. With the I do have the Insecticons and Constructicons and so on. And I hope there's more news coming up on the 30th anniversary celebrations. I haven't really heard as much as I thought I would, but I'll definitely be keeping an eye out on what's happening and how Takara are going to celebrate it, coming up to, I think the August is probably the month when the cartoon first came out. You know, that was every Saturday morning I used to watch that with my brother. So that's sort of ingrained in my memory for all time, I think. So that is pretty much vintage G1 Optimus Prime, as iconic as you can get, I think. So stay tuned for further vintage retrospectives, I guess, on the G1 Transformers, and the next episode will be my first Transformer ever. So I hope you guys can stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, bye.